that there's a way to stand up for yourself. And if you don't go about it the right way, then you will get walked on. It really takes great effort to change the status quo. Love them, then they will be able to love themselves and really start to, feeling about, you got to love yourself before you start loving your neighbor.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next Conversations with Brent. We have a young man that is, let me just say, very impressive. Mr. Ozie Davis from Cincinnati, Ohio. How you doing, Ozie?
I'm doing great, man. Doing good. No complaints. God is good.
Man, I tell you, I'm looking at the beard, the hair, man. I can't get nothing to grow here. It quit growing up here a while ago, and you just sitting there with all of it, looking like Mufasa, just full of wisdom and
well, we getting a little thin at the top, so but we're blessed to have a little hair at 55. Hey, we doing okay.
Hey, looking good for 55, and we can't see the top, so it's all good. So man, let's dig into who you are a little bit. So from Cincinnati, Ohio, A1 from day one. For those people that don't know Avondale, we lived in Avondale for a little while. We lived on the corner of Rockdale and Vernon. So
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so you went to the prestigious Walnut Hills High School. And then from there, you went to Miami?
Went to Miami, then Indiana for grad school and law school.
Okay. And you got your law degree and what else?
I got a master's degree in applied sports science, which is a mixture of sports psychology and sports management.
Okay. You know who that makes me think of when you say that?
Oh.
Never chance to meet him, was in area where I could have and never was, Dr. Harry Edwards.
Yes, Dr. Harry Edwards is one of my idols. I've met him several times. Two of my professors, one at Miami, Dr. Othello Harris, and one at Indiana, Dr. Gary Sales, are both mentors of the Harry Edwards.
Wow. Yeah, when we was in San Fran with Taquillo, him and Taquillo still talk now, and I never was able to make that connection. Very impressive dude, man.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it's interesting. He's got a couple commercials right now. After the protests over the summer, and then with the excellent athlete activity or activism, Dr. Edwards came back on the scene, and it's been good to see him, get his due, 50 years later.
Yeah, man. Like I said, just every time I've seen him from way back, man, just very impressive.
Definitely.
But man, I see some of that in you too, because we met at Grassroots Leadership Academy.
Yes.
In trainer class.
Yes.
And I always knew of you, but never really had that interaction until we took that class. And everything I heard was true. Just you're a class act, a real genuine guy, man. And you don't meet a lot of people like that. So I applaud and commend you for your reputation preceding you in such an honorable manner.
Well, I appreciate that. I spoke with Dr. Jenny via Facebook yesterday. She was Miss Jenny back then. She got her PhD. So now she's Dr. Jenny. And I think though that training was particularly for me, it was affirming that things that I thought were correct. That there's a way to stand up for yourself, and if you don't go about it the right way, then you will get walked on.
Oh, most definitely. And Ozie, even in the climate we're in now with the civil unrest and the politics and everything, some people say, oh, they shouldn't be this, they shouldn't be that. But my thing is always like this. It's like war. You got Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. You're hitting from every different angle. We have to learn to take the fire of young people, as my pastor used to say, and give them the wisdom of old people, because fire will burn everything in its path if it's not given a direction. And so you do a lot of mentoring, trying to help them. What's some things that people can be doing to help our young people to take what they're feeling and use it in a constructive manner?
Well, I think we have to, and I've been saying this, I think in 2017, I started a campaign called the Love More campaign. And I just, it's a slow social media campaign, hashtag Love More, but it means a lot. And when we're working with young people, we have to remember that the traumatic experiences that they've faced are different than those that we faced when we were young people. And the absence of love in the home, it's been 50 years since, the federal government really started to reward Black people to have single family homes. And you don't see the mom and daddy, parental unit. And that is causing an absence of love in our homes and an absence of love in our neighborhoods. But once a young person knows that you love them, then they will be able to love themselves and really start to, feeling about, you got to love yourself before you start loving your neighbor.
That's right.
And you really, I think it sounds kind of, corny and easy and light, but it's the heaviest lift.
Yes.
It's the heaviest lift to love somebody, to love yourself first, and then to love somebody else. And I think that's what I've been blessed to be able to do, to love on young people. And that has them believing they can do all kinds of things. And once they believe the sky is the limit, the sky is the limit.
Right. That's right. And my wife always says one of her favorite scriptures is, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if we would just take that, like you said, that love, and just treat people the way we want to be treated. People talk about the Black on Black crime and all this. Man, people just want to know that somebody cares about them.
That's right. That's right. Dick Gregory he talked a lot about Black on Black crime. He said, if you go to France, what you gonna find? You're gonna find Frenchmen killing Frenchmen. If you go to Italy, you're gonna find Italians killing Italians. So if you come to the Black neighborhood, I will guarantee you're gonna find Black people killing Black people.
Yeah.
But it's so much about caring for one another. If you can't read, because people put a lot of other stuff into it, and I always boil it down to caring for one another. If you can't read, at 17 or 18, I'd be damned if I'm gonna listen. If I can't read, I'm not gonna listen to you. You don't even love me.
Right.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to fake it. I'm never gonna tell you I can't read.
Right.
That's just, I feel like you're gonna down me because you don't even care for me. So I think that caring is so important, because now I can help a 17-year-old get to read because I care about him. So he'll share with me where he might not share with somebody else.
Right.
And that's critical. When I talk to second graders, I tell the second grader, if you have a question, raise your hand. The teacher is being paid to teach you, and it is not cool to not raise your hand.
I know that's right.
But if the teacher don't like them, they're not raising their hand, because they you don't get that feeling. One thing in law school with that Socratic method, man, it'd be sometimes you go in that classroom, you'd be like, I hope they don't call me, I didn't read last night. And if it was a mean professor, you just skip class. You just wouldn't go. And that's a grown person.
Right.
So that caring, I don't think I could overstate how important that caring is. But you also have to deliver up the resources. You can't just care for kids or young folk. That's not going to be enough. You also have to deliver up the resources. Make sure that the young folk have opportunities, and that's some of the stuff that we're trying to do here in Cincinnati. Whether it's working with the Urban League, or there's a program here called Easter Seals Workforce Initiative.
Right.
We're like making sure the young folk have opportunity and somebody to care about them. And you can't.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
And, you know, you mentioned education, and I know you sat on the school board for a while. And I'm not in education per se, but my wife's a guidance counselor. My sister and my brother-in-law both teach. And, you know, I'm kind of excited to see what Dr. Jill Biden's going to do as far as education, with her having that educational background. When you were on the school board, what's some of the challenges that you faced trying to make a difference?
Well, first, I hope that Biden, Dr. Biden, the Secretary of Education, you know, her plan is to continue working in the classroom, even as the First Lady. If she's planning on continuing to work, then I think that she has excellent qualifications to be the Secretary of Education. Her 8 years as the second lady really impacted the Obama administration's attack on education.
Okay.
The things that you see from sitting on the school board, I really got to see just how many resources the district had that wasn't getting out to the people. Just today, I made a post on Facebook about our College Credit Plus program. Okay, you can start taking the College Credit Plus in the 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
But less than 10% of the people are taking College Credit Plus classes in neighborhood schools. But I don't blame the people or the district. It's just the fact that the amount of resources that we have are we're not getting that word out there. There's a program at Taft where kids are graduating and making $50,000 and going into this IT company. And I'm asking seniors at Taft, have you heard about this program? No, sir. It's $50,000. You start in 9th grade, they train you, you work in the summer at this company, and then you go into the company. I mean, the resources that we have are just unbelievable, but the resource to the family is that connection is weak.
Yeah.
There's a program at Aiken. It says you start in 9th grade. It's an education program. You start in the 9th grade, you go through 12th grade, you get a free education in Miami of Ohio, and you're committed to coming back into the Cincinnati Public School District to teach for 3 years. 3 years, that's it. You only got to teach 3 years. You got a free education, then you can do whatever you want. But it's only 20 kids in that program. It should be 60 kids, 100.
Oh, definitely. Because Miami is not a slouch school. Miami is a very prestigious school.
Very prestigious school. And, you know, the young lady, Dr. Rachel McMillan, who created this program, she is growing it so that the capacity can grow. So she's growing faster than the capacity, but she's single-handedly getting that information out to kids where it should be district-wide known that these programs, you know, exist. And another thing that, you know, I found on the school board is that it really takes great effort to change the status quo. The education system has not been good for Black people since Brown versus Board of Education.
I know that's right.
And you know, to move it just a little bit, move it an inch, it takes so much concerted effort from the board, the administration, and mostly families. You know, the staff, the teachers, everybody has to be on the same page to move us away from the status quo. Cincinnati Public Schools has an equity policy, and they are currently developing an anti-racism policy.
Okay.
That's great. But even with the equity policy, it takes a lot to do the things that the policy says we're going to do. And some of the things, you know, to correct long-term racism, some of the things are just illegal, unconstitutional.
Right.
And so, you know, my question to our, you know, general counsel is, especially as we go into this anti-racism policy, you know, to end racism, you're going to have to do some things that are maybe unconstitutional. If you're not, you know, awarding enough contracts to Black businesses, then you need to figure a way to get Black businesses in. But, you know, you can't just get Black businesses in, because then white businesses are going to sue you.
Right.
So we're going to need the strength of our general counsel and the will of the people to be able to withstand any challenge to our desires to end racism and to provide equity. And I'm not certain that the system is ready for that, but it's going to take all of us, the board members, the administration, the teachers and staff, and families. Community is so critical.
Yes, it
if
is.
We're going to change anything.
Yeah, we were talking, a couple of my guests were from Kennedy Heights, where we from, and we talked about the uniqueness of growing up in a community like Kennedy Heights or Avondale and Bond Hill. You don't have those communities like that anymore. And I think it's what's lacking in the kids is that sense of community. But while we're talking about school boards, in this climate we're dealing with now, we know we just had the presidential election and we have everything that's going on with that. And I know you've run for office. What's it like running for office and then, you know, dealing with the outcome of office? Kind of give us some insight into that from your perspective, please.
My first time running for office was in 2017. I ran for I ran for city council, and I came in 11th. Only 9 people win. What I found was I was uncomfortable making ask of people who I didn't either I didn't know them, or
Okay.
I didn't know what they expected of me. If I were to ask them for money, a lot of people say, you know, well, fundraising is a challenge. It wasn't necessarily fundraising. It was more a feeling that I had that, you know, if I call Brent and ask him for $100, he gonna expect me to do something for him. Now, I'm not saying that's correct.
Right.
I'm not saying it, but this is the fact. This is how I felt. Now, in 2019, when I ran for school board, I had got appointed to the school board in 2018. So in 2019, I failed to get my signatures. I was not on the ballot. I had a record-setting 13,000 write-in votes.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'm running for school board in 21. I already have my petitions. You know, that won't happen to me again.
I know.
But a novice person that's running for election has to understand, first, the petitions are very important. Second, you have to come to agreement with yourself that fundraising is important, and don't feel as if somebody you're asking for money wants you to do something. That's not necessarily true. They may just want to help you win.
Right.
And then it's critical to have a platform that will change the system. You know, some people just are out here running just to be running. If you're not going to change the system, then get more experience, you know, at the community council level, or at the block club level, or with the Democratic or Republican Party. Get more experience until you're ready to change the system. Those are the things that I really felt were most important. You know, really getting your petitions, and then it's the inner work. And then it's the get out there, knock on every door, meet as many people as you can, and explain your platform and how your platform is going to change the system. If you're not for bettering the system, you're not going to get the votes you need to win.
Right.
And I really think once people get to the level that they're ready to run, that they're confident enough. It was never a confidence issue. And for those, particularly the new people, that were running with me in 17, we were all very confident.
Okay.
But some of us outraised others, and that money is overly important. I wish we had some finance, you know, some campaign finance reform in this country, because right now that money is overly important. You know, I was thinking about, you know, the down in Georgia, and you know, somebody sent me an email, the DNCC, hey, can you send some money? I'm like, hell yeah. And I had much with candidates this year just because, but if we can flip the Senate or tie the Senate up, yeah, I got something for that, for sure. And the Warnock guys, that's huge. It's a huge opportunity. And the Warnock guy is a personal friend of my college roommate. So Reverend Warnock and Reverend Bernard Newell are friends. And I'm like, man, anything we can do. And I think I got to that because I was thinking about the candidates. And I think, so say you just lost a couple weeks ago.
Right.
You can't just disappear.
No.
You should be the first person out there knocking doors for Warnock and Ossoff. You should be out there showing your face, whether your next election is in 2 years or 4. Get out there, show your face, show that you're a worker. Those are the things that I think really make a good candidate.
Well, and you know, two things. That's what Stacey Abrams did. She lost, but hey, she said, I'm gonna take it as a personal vendetta. We won't ever let that happen again. And then Andrew Yang is moving to Georgia, him and his wife, for these runoffs.
Excellent, excellent. I think Stacey Abrams gets her pick of the litter from President-elect Biden. But I tell you what I really would like to see happen. Okay. I would like to see President-elect Biden form a reparations commission, give it cabinet level importance, and name Stacey Abrams the Secretary of Reparations. I don't know many people with that kind of passion and execution ability. And the ideal of reparations is something that is so tough. I would love to see her head up something. You would have to make it cabinet level.
Yeah.
You know, because I think the woman, she was my choice for vice president. So, and I all praises to Sister Harris. You know, love her, but I wanted Stacey Abrams, and I think Stacey Abrams would make, well, like I said, she gets her pick of the litter. I don't care. You say secretary, and I'm gonna say I think she'd make a great one. But man, if he would do that, if he would make the reparations commission cabinet level and put Stacey Abrams, he said he got black people back. That would show me.
Yeah,
that would show me.
I think after the elections, my sister sent me a text. And I think it's Joy Reid on MSNBC or CNN.
Yeah.
Should be secretary of whatever the hell she wants, because she.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, man, as we get ready to wrap up, what's some things you're working on that people can be involved? We know School Board 2021, but outside of that, what else are you doing that maybe people can get involved in? Because like I said, I know you are very deep in the community. I know you work with our young men, not only in academics, but also athletics. So just kind of let us know where we can join you and what you're doing.
Well, I tell you, that we got 1 week left on our coat drive and turkey giveaway. If folks want to donate coats, we really would like them to bring them to either the Hirsch Recreation Center or the North Avondale Recreation Center. If folks want to donate money or send coats or donate money for turkeys, they can send them to my address at 3550 Eden, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45229. If folks want to send checks, they can send them to Southern Baptist Church. Southern Baptist is our fiscal agent for our coat drive and turkey giveaway. We're working with the rec department. The rec department is has been a phenomenal partner. McDonald's on MLK, of course, has been a phenomenal partner. McCluskey Chevrolet. McCluskey has been a phenomenal partner, and several community organizations are helping us as well. If you're local and you want to participate in our team tutoring program, we need all the tutors that we can possibly get. If you're from out of town, we at this point we're not doing virtual tutoring, but it is something that we're thinking about going into for the second semester.
Okay.
You know, those are two things that are really dominating the scene right now. As we go into the new year, you know, we've got a lot of things that we like to do with our program in regards to helping teenagers. We just signed a deal with the recreation department to do youth to work in the winter. So youth to work is usually a summer program,
right?
But we're going to be starting up youth to work here in 2 weeks with about 20 young people. And what we're doing is a program that we call Be Uncommon. The Be Uncommon professional and self-skill development teen and young adult program. And we just really want to focus on training youth to think excellent. Think I am uncommon. I'm not regular. If somebody wants to hang out, that if they regular, I don't hang out with them. I don't hang out with nobody that doesn't have something to lose, because I'm uncommon. I'm elite. I'm special. I deserve it. We're doing. Oh man, I'll say this last, Brent, because this is something I'm most proud of. We're doing what we call mirror work with our teenagers. We have our teenagers examining themselves. I tell them to examine their soul in the mirror 3 times a day. When you wake up, in the middle of the day, and before you go to bed. And what we're asking them to ask themselves, or to tell themselves when they look in that mirror, is I'm great. I'm going to bust my butt to be great, and I deserve greatness. And we tell them at the end of the day, when you're looking at yourself and you're saying those things, I'm great, I deserve greatness, and I'm going to bust my butt to be great. You're going to know if you cheated yourself.
That's right.
You're going to know. And if you cheat yourself, don't ask nothing. Don't ask nothing of society. Your teacher don't owe you nothing. Your pastor don't owe you nothing. The doctor don't owe you nothing. Nobody owes you nothing if you cheat yourself.
That's right.
So I'm really excited about the mirror work, because most of the coaches that I have kids who play on their teams are reporting back to me. I don't know what you did with Eli, but hey man, Eli is more confident than ever. I ain't did nothing with Eli. Eli is looking in that mirror and believing in himself. And that I think is so critical. I really want to grow that whole concept. I actually stole it from a program that I did a couple years ago with returning citizens.
Okay.
Yeah, I was actually a coordinator in this program, and the guy gave us all these little mirrors, and I was like, "What's this?" And so he was doing the mirror work, and I stole it and started doing it with teenagers, and it's been phenomenal.
I always tell my kids the hardest conversation you will ever have is with the man in the mirror.
Can't lie to yourself.
You can't lie to him. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't sweet talk it, because he was there every step of the way with you. So that's awesome, man. I appreciate that. I think that's a great note to end on, having a conversation with the man in the mirror. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I really appreciate you having me, Brent. And I love to come back anytime, and I appreciate you doing this, and it's a phenomenal effort, and I really appreciate you and love you.
Well, man, I appreciate you doing it. Much love, and thank you so much, because like I said, I know you got a lot going on, and for you to take time out of your day to do this for me, I greatly appreciate it. what's an email address or a website where they can get more information on you? I think we lost your audio.
My email address is my email address is OZIE, the number 3 at OzieDavis.com. I'm on Twitter at A1 from Day One. I'm on Facebook at Ozie Davis and Instagram at Ozie Davis.
All right, good deal. We'll make sure we put that in the description. Well, Ozie, man, thank you so much.
It's for all you young folk listening.
You've been doing the Snapchat. I ain't mad at you. Well, good deal, man. Well, we greatly appreciate it. And thank you all for tuning in. You can reach me and follow me at BK3Mill at Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Once again, OC, much love, man. Godspeed and blessings to everything you're doing, brother. Much love.
God bless you.
All right, good deal. Thank you, sir.